police investigation clears top businessman Abubakar Jawara of any wrongdoing in gun importation saga. Also coming up, Gambians react to for the Gassama's social media comments. First though, we'll take a look at the papers, and I'll begin with the Point newspaper. The Point newspaper today, Monday, 25th March 2019, is reporting that Alhaji Kani testifies in Yankuba Toure FJC trial. Gunjur police forced to flee in fear of attack. Amadou Sane describes Dabo sacking as self-red card. TRRC, Brigadier General Alhaji Martins implicated in torture. Ex-URR governor debunks knowing Chief Mane. So we will take a look at some of the stories on the Point, beginning with that Alhaji Kani story there. Alhaji Kani testifies in Yankuba Toure FJC trial. The case involving Yankuba Toure, former member of the AFPRC junta, and Fatoumata Jahumpa Cisse, who is widely called FJC and also former Speaker of the National Assembly, who were jointly charged with conspiracy and interfering with witnesses, commenced on the 22nd March 2019 before Principal Magistrate Aissatou Janenjai of the Kanifing Magistrates Court, with the testimony of Alhaji Kani, the first prosecution witness. In his testimony, the witness told the court that he lives at Jara Sankuya and he is working at the immigration. He said that he was previously working in the army, noting that he knew Yankuba Toure in the army and recognized Fatoumata Jahumpa Cisse as the former speaker. He revealed that in January 2019, he prayed at 8 p.m. from Soma and he was heading to Sankuya in his car and his telephone rang and he received the call. He adduced that it was a lady's voice, adding that Fatoumata Jahumpa told him in Wolof that she was the one calling him. He disclosed that she told him in Wolof that she knew he did not know her, but she knew him in Edward's house, that's Edward Singate, and asked him whether he was not Edward's orderly. He said he responded in the negative, stating that she told him that she had just spoken to Yankuba Toure and he gave her his, that is Alhaji Kani's number. He informed the court that she told him that she learned that he had been called by the TRRC, indicating that she said Yankuba Toure told her that he, Alhaji, had been called by the TRRC, and she asked him whether he had answered to the call. Lawyer Lamin Kamara, who was representing Fatoumata Jahumpa Cisse, objected that the witness told the court what was told to him by Fatoumata Jahumpa Cisse, saying further that it was hearsay and it was not acceptable. He cited Section 19 of the Evidence Act to support his argument. He urged the court to expunge the statement of the witness. The prosecuting witness officer, that's ASP Manga, rose and said that the objection of the defense counsel was misconceived, noting that the narration of the witness did not fall on the section cited by the lawyer. He argued that the witness was establishing the fact that a statement was made, adding that the objection was misconceived and should be overruled, and the witness be allowed to continue his testimony. Replying on points of law, Lamin Kamara said that Section 19B applies to first hearsay and not second hearsay. He argued that the prosecution's submission was misconceived, but the presiding magistrate overruled the objection made by the defense counsel and allowed the witness to proceed with his testimony. Alhaji Kani, continuing his testimony, said that Fatoumata Jahumpa Cisse asked him what the TRRC told him. He said he told her that the TRRC were asking him about the 11th November. He revealed that she told him not to mind them and asked him whether his mother was alive and told him to do good things for her so that she would pray for him. He adduced that she asked him where he was and he told him that he was at Kaur, but he was later at Soma. So this is a case involving a trial involving Yankuba Toure and Fatoumata Jahumpa Cisse, who the two do have been charged with interfering with witnesses of the TRRC. Another story on the Point is saying that Gunjur police forced to flee in fear of attack by Yusufa Job. Station officers at Gunjur police station have deserted the station building for more than a week amid fears of any possible attack by the angry and bereaved Gunjur community in the killing of Buba Jammeh in a land clash with Berending. The said police station was earlier attacked in a recent land dispute between Gunjur and Berending villages, with stones being pelted, leading to destruction of those vehicle windscreen and furniture by the angry mob of Gunjur, who accused the officers of taking bribes and accepting plots of land by their rival village, Berending. Our reporter, while investigating the matter, visited the Gunjur police station yesterday and can confirm to have found the station to be completely abandoned by the station officers since the land clash between the two neighboring villages. Sources have told the Point that the attacked police station has, since the outburst of the land dispute, been the two communities been entirely evaded by the station officers. Another story on the Point is saying Amadou Sane describes Dabo sacking as self-red card by Arfan MS Kamara. The sacked Minister of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment, Amadou Sane, has said that President Adama Barrow has issued himself a red card over his decision to sack longtime friend and political godfather Ousseynou Dabo. The former trade minister said this on Saturday during the UDP rally held in Bundung, Jola Kunda. He added that they are all members of the United Democratic Party, pointed out some came recently while others have been members of the party since 1996. But you can remind President Adama Barrow the time he came to UDP, was it in 2006 or 2017? He's a newcomer, he said. Ex-URR governor debunks knowing Chief Mane by Mamadou Jao. Omar Khan, former regional governor of the Upper River region, has strongly denied knowing missing journalist Ibrahima Chief Mane or had any knowledge about his whereabouts, contrary to what has been reported by Trumpet newspaper. I don't know Chief Mane at the first place, and I didn't know whether he was detained at Sarangai police station. And I didn't give anybody a vehicle to transport anybody to Sarangai, Mr. Khan told the Point. Last week, Trumpet reported that the missing journalist, Chief Ibrahima Mane, was buried behind Diabugu Batapa police station adjacent to a latrine pit. The paper further reported that before he was carried into the waiting vehicle, he was slapped from behind by the then governor of URR, Omar Khan. It added that Mr. Khan was said to be the one who provided the vehicle to take Mane to hospital, and he slapped the sick journalist shortly before he died. Why did they have to come to me in Basse when there is a police vehicle in Sarangai? Whoever is interested about the case should better go and find it out with the police. No officer has approached me for a vehicle in 2008 in order to transport anybody to Sarangai. In fact, why should they have to come all the way from Sarangai? He inquired, adding that he didn't know Chief Mane in the first place and never knew that Ibrahima Mane was detained at Sarangai. So that's what we will have on the Point newspaper. The next newspaper we have is Foria newspaper. Foria is reporting that next budget will be a revolution, says Sidia Jata, ex-trade minister critical of Barrow government. That's Amadou Sane, the sacked minister. Yankuba Toure and Fatoumata Jahumpa plead not guilty as Alaji Kanyi testifies. Pensioners raise concern over unpaid drawbacks. D.A. Jao launches book. We'll look at one or two stories on Foria. Next budget will be a revolution by Sidia Jata. Sidia Jata, the National Assembly member for Willie West, has said that the 2020 budget of the country will be a revolution if health is not adequately catered to. Jata said this at the Legislative House during the debate on the report of the Network of African Parliamentary Committee on Health in Kampala, Uganda, from the delegation of the Committee of Gambian lawmakers who attended that meeting. Jata said as lawmakers, they decide how taxpayers' money should be spent in their interest. This, he said, is the reason why they were voted into office, and as such challenged his colleagues to be bold enough to object or reject the next budget if the health demands of the people are not met. When a minister gets sick, he or she flies overseas for treatment at a time when poor farmers cannot get the needed medical care and service from our health facilities and hospitals. Is this what you call a sovereign and independent citizen? We should stop joking. We have a responsibility. We are their mouths and voices, and we should make sure that when they put money into those coffers, it should be spent to serve their fundamental needs, he said. The Foreign newspaper is also reporting that D.A. Jawa launches book. The former Minister of Information and Communication Infrastructure, Dembali Jawa, has on Saturday launched his autobiography in a book titled A Day with Destiny at a local hotel. The book, which has 157 pages and divided into 21 chapters, is published by Fuladu Publishers of Veteran Educationist for the Balde and is selling at $450. The occasion attracted people from all walks of life, including journalists, university lecturers, politicians, government officials, and friends and families of the author. Mr. Jao, affectionately called DA, has now published his third book. The first, A Living Mirror, The Life of Deda Hydra, was co-authored with the Nigerian journalist Alota Ahmed Alota, and the second is Focus, Birth Pangs of the Gambia's Transition to Democracy. Madi Jobate, the head of the Westminster Foundation National Office, who reviewed the book, said the author narrates his childhood as a young herdsman called Gainako in Fula, his adulthood, and gave an insight into his convictions and the trials and tribulations he faced in the First and Second Republic and life as a minister. That will be that for the papers. We will now move on to our next story. The police are saying that they have there is an investigation that they have finished, and they are exonerating top businessman Abubakar Jawara of any wrongdoing with regard to the importation of some guns, which happened in the month of February. So the police this afternoon issued a statement signed by its public relations officer, Lamin Jai, which said, following an exhaustive investigation into the cache of suspicious guns discovered at the Banjul seaport on 9th January 2019 belonging to GAC Security Company, the Office of the Inspector General of Police wishes to inform the public that the investigative panel comprising experts from the Gambia Police Force, the Army, and Intelligence Services has concluded its findings. It can be recalled that in the wake of the discovery of 13 suspicious weapons out of a total of 1,263 pieces of firearms packed in 252 boxes, the Gambia Police Force immediately launched an investigative panel to make a definitive determination if the said weapons were hunting guns as alleged by the importer, Mr. Abubakar Jawara, or conventional weapons of warfare beyond the limits of his legally acquired hunting guns license through the Office of the Inspector General of Police. The Office of the Inspector General of Police wishes to remind the public that importation of guns and ammunition is regulated by the Arms and Ammunition Act, which was first promulgated by Act number 14/1924, and it went through series of amendments culminating in Act number 12 of 2008, Cap 2101, that's volume 01, revised laws of the Gambia 2009. During the thorough investigation lasting almost 2 months, specimens of all the weapons were taken to a ballistic expert at the Gambia Armed Forces, who upon comprehensive examination concluded that all weapons are classified as hunting guns, which can only use cartridges and not conventional ammunition. In view of the above circumstances, the prosecution of Mr. Abubakar Jawara, proprietor of GAC Security Company, on a charge of importation of non-hunting guns cannot be substantiated based on the findings of the ballistics expert and the legal advice that all guns submitted as specimen fall within the categories of hunting guns. That is a press statement from the Office of the Inspector General of Police with regard to the guns that were impounded, seized, belonging to top businessman Abubakar Jawara. We'll move on to our next story. Governments have reacted to calls by the newly sworn-in member of the National Assembly, Mr. Fode Gassama, that government should sweep in to regulate social media. Fode Gassama, in a recent interview with the Standard newspaper, called for the regulation of social media. Gambians have been reacting angrily to these calls. The Fado Network has been gathering the views of Gambians on these comments that were made by this newly sworn-in member of the National Assembly.
Today we are here at the University of the Gambia to engage the students regarding the comment of the newly nominated National Assemblyman, Fode Gassama, urging the government to regulate the use of social media in the country. As you can recall, Fode Gassama was nominated to replace Yakumba Jaite, who was sacked some time ago.
Well, I would first of all think that that's a very bad move. First of all, you cannot just expect government to regulate its citizens anyhow it wants. It is important to keep law and order, But regulating social media basically will lead to the government regulating what people think, the political views they have, and also what they think on current issues in the country. So basically, I don't fully understand what kind of regulation they are trying to impose, but they should be very careful of it. Yeah.
Okay, as a citizen of this country, I will say that I'm totally against that idea, because as citizens, we have the freedom to access either application or platform we want. Do you understand? So in that sense, if the government is to censor for example, each and every social media, it's like they are digging into our rights. They are not giving us the right and then the freedom to access either information and we want. And then in that point, for example, our privacy will be at risk, and then we wouldn't be even giving that platform now, for example, to be sending in our applications or even our content, regardless of choice or any other thing.
Thank you very much. I think this is a good procedure, it's a good policy. For me, I am in support of this regulation. Looking at social media, I think they should regulate it. We need a specific age that someone should have in order to have access to social media. Looking at social media, though the world now is technology. Without technology, it cannot go. But looking at the effect of technology now, it's expose our young girls and gentlemen onto certain issues that that it's not our culture. But when we have laws that will regulate the way social media is used, it will be prudent, because now we will know actually how we will use social media. What are certain websites or what are certain medias in which people would be accessible when you are not at the age of 18? Because we know if you don't have the age of 18 years, it is very hard for you to have certain issues to be able to talk about them, because your maturity, it's not at that level. So for the National Assembly proposing that kind of procedures to regulate social media, for me, I am in support of it. That is my opinion here. I am in support of it because it will help us to know exactly how we will use social media, what are the effects on social media, what are the positive things that we have in social media.
I am someone for one that won't second such, because as citizens of the Gambia, there is high time that we need to consider what is going to favor the general public. Because when you look at censoring what goes on social media, it has to do with either freedom of expression or critics. And if we if we allow the government to censor that, that means it is going to limit criticism and then the like. So, and then most of the time when it comes to censoring, it comes for issues that are either objective or that are sensitive. So now the question is who determines what is sensitive? Because something might be sensitive as far as the government is concerned, but to the general people it's not sensitive. So to me it is going to be something that this government or any other government can use in a bad faith or whatsoever the case may be. So as far as I'm concerned, I think it's not something that we need to. It's something we need not to go into for. And then the other thing is it tends to limit the work of the government, because most of the critics do not have direct access to either the government or other people, so they use the social media. So in a case where you have the government censoring the social media, it's going to be very, very hard, or it's going to be something of great hurdle to the critics and then the other citizens of the Gambia. So as far as I'm concerned, I think it's something we need to do away with, and then the government should not go in for that.
Not a good idea, because social media, I think social media worldwide cannot be controlled. And one of the things, social media too is a source of information for some people. So I don't think social media has to be controlled. It should be a place where people go and speak their minds concerning what they think is right.
The other question was, the lawmaker suggesting that to the government. What would you say to that lawmaker?
If as you said, if the person is a lawmaker and suggested that the social media should be controlled or whatsoever. If people are saying things on social media that is not violating the rules and regulations of the country, why should it be controlled? I don't see any reason why the social media should be controlled. If people are saying things that are happening and vital, it should not be.
What I have to say to that is simple. There are more burning issues than regulating social media. You understand? In the parliament, they haven't done anything regarding passing laws that have to, we have to see the impact of the citizens into it. Before going into the parliament, talking about laws that have to be censorship on social media and so on, I think they should have, get themselves more concerned into the deeper roots that's affecting the society. If you have to censor social media at this moment where we are calling for democracy, I don't see no reason the essence of them being in a parliament. And if it wasn't for social media at the moment, Babil would still be here. It was through social media that we booted dictatorship out of this country. So if you have to come into the parliament, I was expecting him to be more, to bring in more burning issues than censorship on social media. There is nobody who can censor social media in this world at the moment, especially in the Gambia.
What impact do you think censorship of social media will have on the democracy in the Gambia?
No, I don't think when you say about democracy, it's about freedom of choice, freedom of the individual being able to express his opinion regardless of choice or application the person is using. So if they are to censor any social media platform, it is how will I even put it? They are violating the rules and the norms of net neutrality, because when you say net neutrality, the principle that all data have to be treated equally without user being discriminated or users being censored. Do you understand? So with that concept, I don't think they have the right. And then with regards to the impact it's going to have, is they are going to seize our privacy. Number one, we, for example, the citizens wouldn't have the freedom to publish our information online, because we'll be afraid to, because simply because there is a policy that is stopping us from doing so. So our freedom now will be at stake. We wouldn't be able to say our opinions. We will be able to publish either information we want online.
Okay, first of all, I don't think it is right for the social media to be monitored, because it makes no sense when I don't see it as anything that makes any sense, because it's just you're infringing on my right. Okay, I want to talk to somebody right now about personal stuff, and I have somebody checking on what I am talking about. I don't think that makes any sense at all, because it makes no sense. I don't even know what other English to use to qualify that. It makes no sense. I don't think it's right.
Viewers, that's all we have for you from the University of the Gambia. Reporting for the Fatu Network, I am Fatu San.
For more information and exceptional service, please call our office line on +220 4410 Better still, call us on mobile or via WhatsApp on +220 376 2333 or +220 776 2333. You can also visit our website on www.tafafricahomes.com. TAF Africa Global. Our experience is global. Our focus is Africa.
So, viewer, that's where we will leave it for today. From me, Lamin Jai, and the rest of the team. We will see you tomorrow. Thank you very much. Goodbye.